So I've arrived here at the terminal and I drive up here and I can see DFDS, I can see other like Finn lines, and the one I've booked is called Viking line. And I can't find it here. And then I look at my ticket and it says Stockholm and I'm like, yeah, but this is Stockholm. This is the Stockholm side. Then I put Viking line into the navigation system and 1 hour and 8 minutes away, it's actually in Stockholm. It's actually in Stockholm. And latest check-in is in 47 minutes and takes an hour and 8 minutes to drive. So I'm not even gonna come close to being able to catch that because I have to be there an hour before. So what do I do? The past few years, I've driven to many places here on the channel. I've driven to Bergen, I've driven to Trondheim, I've driven to the Polar Circle. I've even driven to Denmark, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and to Italy without any issues or problems. I've been all over the place. So driving from Oslo to Helsinki in Finland, a measly 1100 kilometers should be a piece of cake, right? Especially considering the car I'm traveling with, the new and updated MY24 Volvo XC40 Recharge Extended Range. This updated version has a new and more efficient single electric motor driving the rear wheels. Along with a bigger battery and one of the best route planners out there, this should literally and figuratively be as easy as eating a piece of cake. But as things were looking promising, everything took an unexpected turn, and my whole trip was at jeopardy. Would I actually be able to get to Helsinki in time? I'm pretty excited for this trip. The next few days of traveling is going to be very exciting because I've never driven to Stockholm before. I've been there a bunch of times, but I've never driven there. So we're going to be exploring new roads, new charging stations, new locations I've never seen before. And also, I've never been to Finland, never been to Helsinki, so I'm pretty excited about checking out and exploring a new country and a new city. And I'm also going to Helsinki for a very specific reason that you guys will find out in a few days, in a few videos, but I think you guys are gonna like it because I'm gonna be making a few cool videos from there. And also on my way back to Oslo later on in this week, I'm going to be filming a Fisker Ocean. I'm going to be test driving one in Stockholm. So hopefully I'll get in a range test and also a quick and short review. I only have that car for like 3 or 4 hours, so yeah, limited amount of time. But today we are driving from Oslo to Keppelskår, which is the ferry connection from Sweden to Finland. So we have a deadline. I have to be there at the latest at 7 o'clock. The ferry leaves at 8. I have to be there an hour before when I have a car. And yeah, preferably earlier than that. I don't want to be there like last minute. And already we have issues. So we have about an hour buffer in my planning between, just an hour extra for unforeseen things. Because again, I have never been here before. I've never driven this road before. I've never charged here before. Thankfully, this car does have one of the best route planners in the business, and it looks fine for now. But just as we got outside of Oslo, yeah, detour. The motorway was closed. And again, I haven't driven this road before, but I know there's like sections of motorway and not motorway. I think mostly it should be motorway, but once we, hit the 2-lane road and then another section of motorway here in Norway, right outside of Oslo, just east of Ski, the road was closed. So, yeah. So we're on a little bit of detour, but according to the map, we're only about 5 minutes delayed. So I'm not too worried yet, but we cannot afford too many delays on today's trip. But as I said, thankfully, the navigation system, the route planner in this car is pretty solid. The car has planned 2 charging sessions. I think one is 47 minutes and the second one, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing around half an hour. So yeah, pretty exciting trip. Hopefully, not too many problems, and yeah, hopefully we catch that ferry at 8 o'clock this evening. Okay, we are here to do our first charging stop. So we're gonna go to this recharge charger here. And I'm curious to see if these are the upgraded 200 kilowatts. No, these are 150 kilowatts, but it's still fine enough. I mean, it's still fine enough. This car does have a peak charging speed of, what is that, 205 kilowatts. And this car does also have preconditioning. We've navigated this charger since we started the trip, so we should be warmed up to get that peak charging speed, but we're not going to get more than probably 150 kilowatts then. So I told you guys earlier that the car wanted us to do 2 charging stops, but only 1 charging stop. So only 1 charging stop. So it says now minus 74, so that means we're probably going to have to go to 74%, but we're just going to charge the car until the car says we're ready to go. So we've been on the road for about, I think, 3 hours and 40 minutes, done 321 kilometers with an average speed of 90 kilometers an hour, and we are down to 8% stated charge. I don't think that is bad at all. 22.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers in average consumption. Outside temperature between 4 and 7 degrees Celsius has been pretty stable, dry, wet roads, and a little bit of drizzle, but not rain really. On the XC40, the charging port is here on the driver's side. And so we're going to connect now. We're going to use my recharge charging chip here, which is something you have if you work for Recharge, or if they are sponsoring your video, which they are sponsoring today's video. And if you don't know who Recharge is, they are the largest charge point operator in the Nordics. Norway, Sweden, and Finland, with more than 4,000 charging points across all of these countries. So that is interesting. We're going to use them here in Sweden, and then we're also going to use them in Finland. So I'm really excited to check out the different recharge charging stations as we move through these Nordic countries. So already we are now connected. The very quick initialization, no, I can't say that word, very quick to initialize. And as we're going to see, this charging speed is going to ramp up now. We're at 8% stated charge, and it should quickly, but step by step, ramp up to, I'm hoping 150 kilowatts, but we may not get as much as that because I think these campfire chargers here are limited to 300 amps. These are 350 amps. These, this first generation of these campfire chargers, the new ones, can go to like 500 amps and offer 200 kilowatts or 400 kilowatts on an 800 volt architecture. So if you want to support the channel, go to the link in the description box down below and check out the map to find out where your closest recharge charger is, because they have a lot, in the Nordics. No, we're going to get 150 kilowatts. This is nice. So this is not limited to 300 or 350 amps. We're getting 150 kilowatts, or maybe because of this new battery pack, this car can take 150 kilowatts at 300 amps. That makes sense. Let's hop into the car and check, because I think there's an amperage readout. So 151 kilowatts, we're getting that peak charging speed. So that's really nice. So this is nice with this car, that it will actually show you the amperage. Or does it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Sorry guys, that's my mistake, because I think it did it before, like the first generation. But I mean, that wasn't too useful, but it's pretty nice information either way. So as the car said, we're going to go to, let's see what the navigation system says here now. 71% or minus 71%, so that means 81%. So the car wants us to do a deep charge. This car should be able to do 10 to 80% in maybe, I don't know, like 40 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes now with this speed. So it's going to be pretty decent, but I want to, maybe we're going to do another charging stop, because I don't want to, arrive at the ferry with only, I think the car said like 6%. I want to arrive with a little bit more percent, but we are ahead of schedule, so it's not going to be a problem. We still have time to stop another place, so maybe we're not going to go very deep now. Maybe we're going to go to 70% and then do another charging stop later on. now stopped for our second charging stop about 30 kilometers outside of Stockholm in a place called Kungsängen, I think it's called here, right next to McDonald's. And I want to stop here for two reasons. First off, I only charged to 65% at our last charging stop, so we only charged for about 20 minutes, 18-20 minutes I think, around about that, because I thought it was better to do a second charging stop, even though we're splitting this 150 kilowatt charger with a Volkswagen ID4 and we're only getting about 70 kilowatts, which is fine, We're at 6% state of charge now. We connected at 4 and we're gonna get, I mean, it's okay charging speed because I'm gonna go in and eat a little bit, but they do have two other 50 kilowatt chargers here. But yeah, getting that extra 20 kilowatts is gonna be nice. So according to the car, we are now, let's take a look at this. We are, let's see, the car wants us to charge, yeah, 20%. Nope, we're not going to do that. So we're at minus 20%, 6% now, so it wants us to get at least 26%. But we're probably going to go to like 20, no, not 20, maybe 50 or 60. And it's not showing now. But according to the car, if we, just did a short charging stop, we were going to arrive at the ferry at around 5 to 6. So we still have a lot of time. So maybe we're going to charge like an extra 15-20 minutes because the car wanted us to do a 15-minute charging stop. So maybe we're going to charge a little bit extra so I can go in and get some dinner, because yeah, I'm not going to be on board a ferry before probably like 7:30, and then I don't know if the restaurant is open yet, so it's still like a few hours if I don't eat now. So that's what I'm going to do. But as you guys can see now, it's 4:15 and it is dark here in eastern Sweden, much darker than it is in Oslo, and that is because we're about 500-600 kilometers east of Oslo, east into the time zone. So this is where the time zone starts. Once we cross over to Finland, we're going to be in a different time zone, which means the sun is going to set an hour later than here. But now we're all the way east in the time zone. That means the sun is setting very early compared to if we were, for example, in Bergen, which is all the way west in the time zone. I think the sun sets like maybe an hour, more than an hour later in Bergen than it does here. So I've arrived here at the terminal in Keppelskår where the ferries to Finland leave. And I drive up here and I can see DFDS, I can see other like Finn lines, and the one I've booked is called Viking Line. And I can't find it here. And I'm like, where is it? And then I can see, I think it's called Turku, where I'm going in Finland, or Åbo in like Swedish. I think it's called Turku. And I can see the sun, but it's like Finn lines. It's not Viking Line. And then I look at my ticket and it says Stockholm. And I'm like, yeah, but this is Stockholm. This is the Stockholm side. Usually when you take these ferries, it will say like the biggest city, but then I put Viking Line into the navigation system and yeah. 1 hour and 8 minutes away, it's actually in Stockholm. And latest check-in is, 7 o'clock in 47 minutes, and takes an hour and 8 minutes to drive. So I'm not even gonna come close to being able to catch that because I have to be there an hour before. So what do I do? I'm not sure what I do. I think there's still a ferry here that leaves at 9 to Turku. So I'm in time for that, but I'm gonna have to find out. I'm gonna have to buy some new tickets and yeah, frustrating. Yeah, so this is what happens when you travel to a new country, to a new place, and you blunder on where you're going to leave from. Yeah. An hour and 3 minutes later, and I am in downtown Stockholm, just about to board the ferry. Oh my God. I thought I was just gonna have to, I don't know, find a different ferry, leave tomorrow, find a hotel for the night. drive back home to Oslo. I was so frustrated and devastated about driving to the wrong ferry terminal. My own fault, of course, but these things can be confusing. But yeah, I've read the fine print in my ticket, which is electronic. I have it on my phone. And it said, it's in Swedish, right? I'm quite good in Swedish, but some things, don't just translate direct. And it says something about like bilburna passagerer, which I thought like, okay, you're a passenger in your car. You have to be there an hour before. But then and that's what I read yesterday, right? Yesterday evening when I bought the tickets. And then I read the line down below when it said, car check-in at the latest 30 minutes before departure. And I'm like, that has to be it. And then I put it into the navigation system, and then the Google Maps said it's like closing soon. And I'm like, okay, that means we probably can be here half an hour before, but I wasn't sure. So I was down here at, the check-in, the passport control, like 12 minutes past 7. And yeah, I'm in. So we're gonna make it to Finland during the evening. So I'm just gonna park up now and then find my cabin.
Our estimated time of arrival in Longnes is at 3:15 a.m. and Turku at 7:35.
Okay, I've now, entered, checked in. I'm now in my cabin, and this is the cheapest cabin. And I was kind of, worried about the cabin yesterday when I was ordering online, because I have to say that the information has been pretty bad from this Viking line, cruise line ferry company, both on the website and afterwards. Everything has been very clear. So first off, the room is very small. It's like 6 square meters, but I'm like, is there a bathroom? Is there a private toilet? I don't know. I haven't taken many of these overnight ferries. Maybe when I was a kid. So when I went through, the room upgrades, if you upgraded to the nicest room, it said bathroom. But none of the other rooms said bathroom. So I thought I should show you guys just a quick tour of this cabin. So this is the entrance. This is the bed, like double bunk bed, and a sofa here. And I don't know, is that an escape hatch? Is that where we escape? Yeah, probably, in case the boat goes under. And then there is a bathroom. So there is a private bathroom. I was kind of worried that there wasn't one, but there is. So that is fine. So it's not the most luxurious thing. I'm just going to be here until tomorrow morning. We arrive at 7:35 local time in Finland, which is like 6:35 local time now, so it's quite early. So I'm not going to be here for too long, and I'm probably going to go up and get some food in a restaurant. Maybe I'm going to show you guys in the morning a little bit more like B-roll from what the boat looks like, but now it's dark outside. Yeah, it's not the best. So yes, I was able to make it here without, with making the ferry. I was able to make it just about, but there's one thing that isn't the best, and that's we arrive here with 8% stated charge. I think there are charters when we arrive in Turku, but I'll have to check. Internet here is pretty poor, so maybe I'm just going to go to sleep and then wake up tomorrow early. I am pretty tired after a long weekend and a long day of driving. More than 700 kilometers and yeah, like 200 kilometer detour. Great. So I'm going to rest up now. See you guys in the morning and hopefully show you guys a little better views of the boat. And when it's probably not going to be sun outside or light outside when we arrive in the port in Turku. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow. morning, guys, and welcome to Turku, Finland. We are currently here at a recharge charging station right outside of Turku at this McDonald's. And yeah, so I arrived at the ferry yesterday with 8% state of charge. When I jumped into the car this morning, I was only at 6%, so lost 2% overnight. And it was like 17 degrees inside over on the car deck where the cars are parked. So that was a little bit curious. But yeah, the thing about that though is, let's see, just start the charging here, is that the battery should be at really nice temperature. But I did navigate here, so there should be some preconditioning. Oh, this charging cable was a little bit short. Okay, so So first time in Finland, first time charging in Finland. These are a little bit interesting. These recharge chargers here, these Alpatronics, which instead of having, you know, the traditional blue and yellow recharge livery, they are in McDonald's green with the McDonald's, you know, golden arch on them. That is pretty interesting. Never seen that before. But also nice is that we are the only car charging here. So we should be getting pretty decent speed now at 5% state of charge. Let's see. Oh, we're throttling a little bit. But I think, you know, this battery pack, once we hit like 10, 12%, we're gonna get that peak charging speed because we're at 400 volts now. I mean, maybe the battery isn't super up to temperature, but it should be at 17 degrees Celsius at least. And, you know, maybe 20 degrees after driving the 10, 12 minutes from the ferry to here. But let's jump into the car and then find out how far we are from Helsinki. It is early in the morning now. I mean, it's not super early. We've now moved into a different time zone. So really it is, I mean, 8:13, but really it's 7:13. So let's hop into here and let's see Helsinki, how far we are from Helsinki. I think we're about 1.5 hours. Helsinki. I think my hotel is by the airport. Oh, we're 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours. So 163 kilometers from Helsinki. The car wants us to charge to, what does it want us to charge to? Is it like 38%? No. Around 50%, but we're not in a hurry. So, I mean, it's now 8:15, 2 hours to get there. So it's going to be 10:15 and I can't check into my hotel before 12, and that is early check-in. So, you know, I'm not stressing at all. We're going to arrive there when we arrive there. But what's nice now, we're going to have more daylight and hopefully the weather's going to be pretty decent. So yeah, pretty excited to check out Finland and Helsinki. Welcome to Helsinki, guys. After more than a day of travel, we are finally here. And I mean, the trip has been very much up and down. The last leg from Turku to Helsinki was very leisure because, yeah, I had a lot of hours to get there because my room wasn't ready before 12. So I've actually, you know, since our charging stop, I've actually just done a very leisure trip. First off, I was very tired, so I slept for about a half an hour in a parking lot next to a store along the motorway to get to Helsinki because I was like, I'm super tired now, let's just sleep for half an hour. And then also when I got here, I'm like, okay, let's just drive through the city of Helsinki because I have time to kill. So you guys saw that beautiful city. I don't know if I have a lot of time to check it out. Maybe on Thursday. I'm gonna be here for two and a half days. So hopefully Thursday I'll be able to check it out a little bit more. But I have other things I am doing here in Helsinki, here in Finland, that is more relevant to the content on this channel than just sightseeing a city. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy that. So, I mean, I charged to 80% at the McDonald's, ate breakfast, just went in, ate breakfast, went out. After 36 minutes, we were up to 80% and slept for half an hour in the car and then drove, sightseeing through Helsinki, maybe like 20 minutes detour there, half an hour detour. And then I'm now at my hotel, which is close to the airport. So we're right here with like 31% stated charge, and the average consumption over this 903 kilometer trip. I mean, the trip is longer when you count like the distance with the ferry, but that's the driven distance, was 23.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which isn't too bad. We've had quite mild weather and not too bad. I mean, just a little bit of rain and drizzle. Now here in Helsinki, it is pretty decent. I mean, being in the middle of November, 8-9 degrees Celsius and overcast. So I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. So the reason I didn't sleep much tonight, before I want to go to the worst thing about this trip, I want to get to the car. The car was amazing. The extended range, fast charging, quite good efficiency, and we would have had better efficiency if we drove in summer. Power was maybe the only thing that I wish it had a little bit more of, passing on the sections of the E18 highway where we didn't have 4 lanes. But that was mostly between the border between Norway and Sweden and to Örebro. After that, the roads were pretty nice, and also from Turku here, just motorway all the way. So just maybe a little bit of power, because it isn't a heavy car. 252 horsepower isn't that much, when you're going 90 to 100 kilometers an hour and you want to pass. That's my only complaint about the car. Otherwise, quiet, comfortable, great route planning. Me not being in a place I've never been before. I mean, the route planning is awesome. Finding charters, preheating the battery, and stuff like that. What wasn't great about this trip was the ferry connection with Viking Line. First off, kind of confusing, like where is it leaving from? Maybe it's just me being stupid, but it wasn't very, apparent that it was leaving from, the port of Stockholm, like downtown Stockholm. Maybe it's because I put the trip into the navigation system, Google Maps at home before leaving to check out the route, and it wanted me to leave to drive to Keppelskod and that, but I don't know. But put that aside, we got there. It was a little bit stressful. The worst thing was the actual ferry. So the information wasn't very good on the ticket. When do you leave in the morning? When do you have to go to your car? When I've taken, just short distance ferries in Norway, there's always a message like, go back to your car now. There was a message an hour before we, were supposed to dock in the port, like, you can now leave your room, but does that mean you can go down to your car? I don't know. It was just, there was no information anywhere in the room. So I was missing that. Also, the food was really bad. I had like a fish and chips. The boat was nice, but the food was pretty bad. And also, they were playing loud music. I don't know if there was like a nightclub above my room or whatever, but they were playing loud music until 2 in the morning. And I can also smell smoke from the ventilation system into my room. I thought it was somebody was smoking in the hall, so I went out. I didn't smell smoke. When I came back into my room, I smelled smoke. So I don't think that's very, very good, actually. So the most disappointing thing was, that trip. And also the cabin is pretty small. Maybe I'm going back during the day. I don't think so. I'm probably going to take a night ferry back again to Stockholm. But I think I'm going to get a better room, because the room was just really small and super cramped. I mean, it works in a pinch, but yeah, I would recommend getting just a little bit bigger room for that trip. So that is our trip here from Oslo to Helsinki. I hope you guys enjoyed the trip, and I also hope you guys are going to enjoy the next few videos. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later. Goodbye.